What's going on, people? Welcome to another episode of Opinionated Facts with E. Taylor Photography, Coco
Oh,
Love, and myself. I am Swaver. And today we're going to be talking about a lady that actually gets a ticket for riding in the HOV lane, Trick Daddy's open relationships, and some baby mama drama. So there was a woman, and she wanted to take her boyfriend on a vacation, and they have children together, and the boyfriend has a child of his own. And she said to him that she doesn't mind paying for their kids to go on the vacation, but she will not pay for his child to go on the vacation. So I just wanted to get y'all opinion about that. What do y'all think about that? Do you think she's wrong for not wanting to pay for her boyfriend's child to go on a vacation with them?
did she say, did she say why? Like, what?
She said that she felt like because that's not her child, that it's his responsibility along with his baby's mother or whoever that child's mother is to pay for him to go or him or her to go, that child to go. I thought that was kind of strange because she said that this is a family vacation. So is she also saying that the child's not a part of the family?
Right. It sounds kind of petty. Like it sounds like there's a underlying issue there because yeah, like you said, it sounds like she must not be considering this child as family, like as her children's siblings or something. Or, as a child of her own. Because if she was, she's acting like the child is like one of the kids' friends that wants to come along or something with the family. And even in cases like that, a lot of times, like if you've been invited somewhere by someone else's family, that family will pay for you too as a child. Like I've had situations like that. So yeah, it doesn't sound good. Now, like I said, I don't know if there's some underlying stuff. It sounds like it might be, but you shouldn't take it out on the child. Sound like she needs to do some growing up, or maybe dad needs to take his child and skedaddle.
On previous podcasts when we were talking about the guy that brought some food to just his child, and she
Yeah, it does.
she got
Yeah.
mad about not bringing food to the other children. I just feel like those two situations are similar, but I feel like this is a little different just because if you're making a family vacation, if the child is around a lot, I just feel like that child is part of the family basically. I mean, it's not no field. The child is part of the family. So at
Right.
that point, you kind of know what you're doing. Now, again, I'm like you. We don't know the whole situation. I don't know if he step out and get this child. I mean, even still, it is petty, but you just don't know the full situation of it. But if you're gonna say it's a family vacation, and again, if the child is around all the time, now it'd be different if you've never had nothing to do with the child, and then all of a sudden you want to bring the child on vacation. That might be a little different. But no,
Yeah.
I think that's a little petty to
Yeah,
me.
and
To me,
yeah, and it sounds like really, honestly, just kind of another reminder. You see it all the time in the news, unfortunately, that you got to watch who you have kids with too, because since this is his child from a previous relationship, and then they have kids together, if he saw any signs of her being this way as well, I would not want my child around a person like that. That's that petty. Because I just, especially when you have children involved, like. I don't know. It's just you have to just watch who you have kids with. So I would definitely watch that if I was him or whatever. Like I wouldn't want my child around that because that's just not right. And I probably just and myself as the dad, I don't know. I probably just wouldn't go and I keep my I don't know because it's hard because he has kids with her as well, like other kids with her. So, but we'd have to talk about that for sure. So,
yeah, we had to
did she
tell us
make a
to sit down.
video? Yeah, did she make a video or something saying this or like what?
No, that was just a post on Instagram.
Oh, okay, okay. I would say I hope she wasn't bragging about it, Lord.
Well, staying on topic about relationships, what I'm bringing is about Trick Daddy. Recently, he was on Breakfast Club, their radio show, and he was discussing his marriage. And he basically was talking about how apparently he lets his wife have boyfriends. He even went as far as to call them his boyfriend in laws. But, if anybody knows how Trick Daddy that's not surprising how you describe it like that. But it seems like the main purpose he was saying for that is because he said he's not trying to go to hell. In the Bible, they look upon marriage as if you get a divorce, that's the form of sin. So I'm assuming again it's a trick daddy, so it's kind of hard to know what's all going in the head of his. But I'm assuming that's what he's talking about. But my question to the panel is this: is what do you feel about that? Do you feel like is this one of those things where it's just different strokes and different folds, or do you feel like is society adapting into a new form of marriage, or how do y'all feel about the whole open marriage or relationship thing?
I saw the interview or whatever, and I remember him talking about that. And I took it more so like he was saying that he's not going anywhere. Like he kind of like he was saying, like he doesn't want to get a divorce because of that. So because of that, we not together technically, like we're separated. So we're not getting a divorce so she can have boyfriends or whatever. But I think he was saying something like he had to approve and stuff like that. It was crazy. But I don't know. I mean, if that's what works for them, a lot of older people, like, I know like my grandparents on one side of my family, they never got an actual divorce. A lot of people do that. Like older people, you'll see that, like they never got a divorce, but they just be separated for a long time, like forever, basically. So it kind of reminds me of that. And I think he mentioned that too at one point in the interview. So, but I mean, if this was a situation where it really was something like that, because I know there are married couples that do that, definitely different strokes for different folk. Everybody's idea of marriage, especially nowadays, is completely different. So if that works for them and, their family, then more power to them. It's definitely different.
I personally don't see nothing wrong with open relationship. Yeah, I think what you were saying about when you talk about how the world is transforming. Now, I'm not saying that. Of course, like I guess I'm saying that I think it should have some sort of boundaries. But if that's what you and whoever you're with is deciding that works for you guys, I don't see nothing wrong with that. As a matter of fact, I kind of can see how that could be beneficial for some people. Because especially, let's just say, for example, if you're going to go out there and do what you're going to do anyway, then at least you probably should go find somebody that's okay with that. So you won't have so much domestic violence, so many arguments, and then different issues between yourself and whoever you're with. So I think that should be an option that's on the table. Now, if you want to talk about the biblical aspect of it, then that's another story. But in general, if people are just going to do what they want to do, I think that should be on the table. And if you can find someone else that's into that type of stuff, then it should be okay.
I guess my thing is that I get that, but I guess to me, it's like, well, why call it a relationship if you're gonna be with somebody else? Like what? Like to me, the textbook definition of a relationship is it's between one person or the other. I mean that. Or if your marriage is between one person or another. So why would you then go through that and then say, oh, we're gonna have an open relationship? It just kind of seems like it's contradicting the marriage. If you just want to be in an open relationship, then you're basically you're really just dating the person. Because when you're dating, you can date this person or that person or whatever. So I don't know. It's just kind of confusing. The open relationship part, I can get that. Okay, but once you start having that incorporated into your marriage, I'm just like, it's not really a marriage. Again, I'm not married, so maybe I wouldn't be able to understand completely. But that's just how I feel about it. But like I said, like you said, and it's different strokes for different folks. I mean, hey, if they like it, I love it. I ain't gonna question it.
So everybody knows that in bigger cities, we don't have this in our city, but in larger cities or whatever, when you're on the interstate, you have the HOV or carpool lane, basically, where you have to have 2 or more drivers in the car with you to be in the lane. And it's for the purposes, I guess, of getting to where you need to go quicker, whatever. Usually those lanes are kind of free and clear as opposed to the other ones. I'm sure a lot of people hop in those lanes, even though it's just one of them, right? Well, in Texas, this lady, her name is Brandy Batone, and she's in Plano, Texas. She was in the carpool lane, right? And, trying to go and pick up her son. And when she exited the lane to, I guess, get off the interstate or whatever, she was pulled over. And when she was pulled over, the police officer, was like, pulled you over because you're in the carpool lane, yet where's your second passenger? And Brandy pointed to her stomach and she said, my baby girl is right here. So basically, she's pregnant. She's expecting a baby girl, apparently. I'm not sure how far along she is, but judging by the pictures that I see in the articles, she's pretty far along. She's showing pretty well. And she said that her baby is the second passenger, and therefore she should have been able to travel in this carpool lane without any type of issue. Well, the police officer disagreed. He basically told her that, your second passenger has to be out of the body, in their own body, basically. And she was issued a $275 citation. And sis said that she plans to challenge this ticket. So her court date is on July 20th. And she said that, with the overturning of Roe versus Wade, her baby is a living person, a living child, especially by their standards with the Supreme Court's ruling. So why doesn't doesn't that count in this particular case? And quite frankly, I gotta say I definitely see her angle. Now, I will say I would not have done this. I wouldn't have, I wouldn't have done this. I just wouldn't have put myself in this situation to, even have to go through any of this. But that's just me. But I definitely see what she's saying. I mean, if my child, especially again, when you get that far along, especially, and you see it all the time, unfortunately, in certain cases where a pregnant woman is killed by someone. And, a lot of times whenever they charge that person with that woman's death, they charge that person with another count for the baby's death as well. So you do see that on this end. So I kind of agree with her. Like, I understand her angle here. And, I get it. Again, like I said, I wouldn't have done that. But what do y'all think? Do y'all think that she shouldn't have done that? Or do you see her point? Do you think she should have gotten a ticket? What do y'all think?
Technically, she's right. I mean, baby, if you're gonna say that the baby is a living being, and I mean, you're growing a living being inside of you. So I mean, yes, I mean, it was kind of like a 2-in-1 type of deal. I think she kind of has a case. I mean, I think she'll win it just off a technicality. I mean, you can't really argue that, especially with the overturning of Roe versus Wade. So yeah, I think she has a valid case.
Well, I'm going to agree with you. I think technically she is right. Now, the question is, are they going to honor that? Because I've never heard of anything like this before. I'm curious to know if this has happened somewhere else. Like, I guess maybe in a similar fashion, maybe not the same situation, but something similar to this. And it kind of makes me want to go look something like this up to see has anyone else had an issue like this. But I got to be real with y'all. I don't really agree with what's going on with her. Because I mean, I'm wondering what she's thinking when she left the house. Like, okay, it's two people going to pick up my son, or was this like something that she was like, if I get pulled over, I got to get
That's
here.
what I'm gonna say.
That's what I'm gonna say.
Yeah.
So I don't know.
Yeah, I'm with you too. It's just kind of one of those. It's like okay, technically you're right, but you have those situations like, yeah, technically you're right, but bro, you're really kind of wrong because you know what you're doing. Hey, that's what happens when you you don't think about these things when you are overturning all these different laws. But anything you do has a reaction and a trickle down effect. So more than likely, it won't be the first time this probably happens.
If this gets off, it's gonna be so many pregnant people hopping in that HOV.
I'm telling you. And I mean, you're going to have people that's going to try to challenge it. You know what I'm saying? When you do stuff like this, especially when people don't agree with what you're doing, which, like I said, I don't either. So there's that. So like I said, I get her angle. She is right. That is a being, that's a person. Cause like I said, if it had been another way around, like, the baby would have been thought of as a person. So yeah, they might have to make some edits to the wording of their laws if they're gonna, keep it that way to where you can get a ticket if you're by yourself, even if you're pregnant. Then they might want to change some of the words because it's gonna be somebody that's trying to, find a workaround.
You're gonna have a little side note in small writing, like a little PS.
Well, I think that kind of wraps it up for us this time, you guys. I want to thank everyone for listening to us again. And if you like our content, don't forget to like and subscribe on YouTube. But until next time, thank y'all so much again. Peace.